I walked backstage, and somebody back there was like, hey, thanks for being on the show. Can I have that? And they took it.
Hey, dolls. As you know, Ellen Degeneres might look real nice in front of the camera, being all generous and funny, but this girl does have an attitude. I am willing to bet that she's just as infamous for her bad rep as she is well known all over the world as one of the A-list's Hollywood hosts. So for today's video, dolls, we'll be talking all about Ellen and all the celebrities who insulted her on her own show. To be fair though, this list also involves times when Ellen was the one to draw first blood, and her guests were not afraid to retaliate. You know, she isn't really the nicest of people. But before that, a simpler reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We are giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice, so be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. First is when Blake Shelton returned to her show. The interview was going smoothly, but then Ellen just had to bring up the clock. What clock, dolls? Well, if you've been watching Ellen, or at least the times that Blake Shelton went to the show, then you'd know what I'm talking about. Ellen has this thing where she gives a humongous clock to her guests who are currently in a relationship. This clock has a face of the couple kissing. Ellen gives the clock to couples with the insinuation that the time is running out for them and that they should get married. If you can recall, this trick actually worked with Jennifer Lopez. Ellen gave her a gigantic clock with the face of her then boyfriend, Alex Rodriguez, locked lips. Jennifer obviously loved the surprise, and they did in fact tie the knots soon after. But Blake Shelton, well, let's just say he wasn't as enthused about it. Ellen did the same thing for him and Gwen Stefani. He was surprised, but not pleasantly. Fast forward to his next guesting on Ellen, the celebrity host reminded Shelton about the clock and why the hell he hasn't proposed to Gwen. But dolls, Blake did not mince words. He said he never really got to keep the clock because right after the show, Ellen's staff snatched it away from him. Ellen, at first, was bewildered, but denied any of this happened. So she asked him to explain why the hell would she ask for the gift back. So Blake said, it wasn't really a gift, but just a prop that Ellen might use for another guest at another time. That caused Ellen to shut her trap. My guess, Blake was right. If we peeled a photo of Blake and Gwen, we might actually see J-Lo and Alex's photo underneath it. However, that trick was probably shelved for good and for good reason. Blake's roast probably stopped Ellen and her staff from doing the same trick twice. Now, dolls, Blake Shelton wasn't the only celebrity who got slightly offended by Ellen and proceeded to insult her back. I'm talking about the one and only Katy Perry. Perry was a frequent guest on Ellen's show, so we were all so dumbfounded when Ellen forgot a big part of Katy's life. You see, Katy went on Ellen back in 2017, and the famous host made her play one of her silly games, which was called Will You Perry Me? And of course, Katy says, do I have to get married? Again? Like she was totally shocked with the game. Although she was only probably trying to play with Ellen with her remark. But I really don't know how it happened, but Ellen totally forgot that Katy was in fact previously married, albeit shortly, to Russell Brand. We all know how that ended. Let's get back. Ellen could still not believe that Katy said yes to someone. It wasn't until Katy reminded Ellen that, hey, you even gave me a wedding present right here on the show. Remember? If you gave a gift to someone for their wedding, the least you could do was remember that it actually happened. Right, Ellen? This just goes to show that the comedian isn't really sincere in her well wishes, just like with Blake Shelton. Or is it just signs of aging? What do you think? Next is the time I personally rooted for Dakota Johnson when she bravely stood up against the veteran celebrity host. Cause who wouldn't when faced with outright lies? This incident happened just less than a year ago on Thanksgiving when Ellen invited Dakota to appear on her show for the second time. The topic was Dakota's awesome and exclusive birthday bash in Malibu, to which the Queen of Mean was badgering Dakota for not inviting her to her 30th birthday. But the younger actress firmly denied the accusations and even said the now famous lines, "Actually, that's not true, Ellen." Johnson was explaining that she did send out an invite to Ellen, but she kept insisting her version of the story was correct. Fortunately for Dakota, a staff member of Ellen's show bravely sided with Dakota, saying Ellen did in fact get an invite, but that the famous host was busy attending to other matters. The other matter actually had something to do with Ellen meeting George W. Bush in Texas a day after Dakota's birthday. Ellen drew flack for it, everybody knew about it, but Dakota was kind enough to not even say a word about the issue, which has something to say about her character. In the end, Ellen could no longer deny the issue and just had to say that Malibu was too far off where she was at the time. Yeah, Malibu is indeed way too far from Texas. Am I right, Ellen? Let's back up a bit. I did promise you, dolls, that I would be fair in my videos and that I wouldn't dwell too much on hate. So it is with much reluctance that I have to point out as well that there were times that Ellen was insulted even without initiating anything at all. Case in point, dolls, is celebrity chef Giada De Laurentiis. Her first appearance on Ellen can be summed up in just one word: cringeworthy. It was so wrong on so many levels. You definitely gotta watch the episode if you wanna take your mind off something, cause it works. Let's just say putting Giada De Laurentiis and Nicole Kidman on a cooking show together, with Ellen of course, is a sure recipe for disaster. The biggest issue that happened during that episode, though, had something to do with Ellen, Giada, and balls. Yes, you heard it right the first time, dolls. The TV chef kept making inappropriate jokes about balls to Ellen. I mean, that's Ellen. What were you thinking? But the jokes did not stop there. Giada also had the courage to allude to Nicole's obvious lack of kitchen skills. Let's be honest here. Ellen, why put Nicole Kidman in a cooking show if she has never really cooked anything in her life? And no, frying eggs and sausages do not count. Despite this obvious lack of chemistry, for some strange reason, Ellen woke up and entertained the idea of getting Giada again on the show, just a year after her first run. But it wasn't exactly a redemption arc for the Italian chef. Now, we all know that Ellen is one of the icons of LGBT empowerment in the entertainment industry and in the entire world. That's why issues of gender and sexuality would definitely insult the host. One such instance that definitely offended Ellen was Kim Burrell's statements online. The gospel singer was supposed to go on Ellen, but the LGBT icon revoked Burrell's guesting because she gave a pretty lengthy sermon against homosexuality. And here I thought we're already in the 21st century. Next, however, is that for some reason, Ellen did not come quite as strongly against Jennifer Lawrence. I have to admit, I am a fan of J-Law, but what she said on Ellen was outright offending. There they were, talking about Lawrence's new pet cat, when J-Law made a remark that made Ellen feel uncomfortable. Jennifer was likening cats and dogs to females and males, so when her female cat started to act like a boy, whatever that means, she decided to rename the poor feline Chaz Bono. For those of you who have no idea who I am talking about, the child of Sonny Bono and Cher came out as a transgender. But instead of calling her out, Ellen thought it best to just steer clear of the obvious hit against trans men. Why the double standard, Ellen? I'm afraid, dolls, that's all the time we have for today. I hope the information I shared with you today will teach you that it's okay to stand up against bullies. Just kidding. See you again soon. Toodles.